The Bible says that the tail of the dragon wiped out 1/3 of the stars. The book of Ezekiel references stars as angels. So the tail of the dragon wipes out 1/3 of the stars, 1/3 of the angels. That is the great rebellion, friends. That was the great rebellion in heaven. Understand, these celestial beings knew God in his fullness in every facet of who he was. And they were still deceived by the dragon. Come on, somebody. Next time you look at shooting stars, you might look at them a little differently now. But remember all of the fallen that were deceived, that knew God in his fullness. Even Adam and Eve, they were matured. They knew God. They walked with him in the cool of the day. And the whisperer came in the garden and divided them from the presence of God. They already had it all. They knew him in his fullness. They had the wisdom. They had the understanding. They had the relationship. And he divided. Isn't that true division? When the enemy sends something into your life to pull you away from the presence, when the enemy sends a monitoring spirit, maybe we could call it even a Delilah, right? That pulls us away from God and exposes our weakness so that we reject the presence and allow the abomination of desolation to stand in our temple. What does true division actually look like? Is it not when you are divided from the presence of God and put back into darkness? When Jesus was on the cross in his final hours, he said, "Father, why have you forsaken me?" He wasn't saying that because he was beaten beyond recognition to where his own family and disciples couldn't recognize him. He wasn't saying that because he was getting spat at and mocked and mimicked and persecuted. He said that because he had to be detached from the presence of God. He couldn't feel him anymore. This was the first time that he had to become sin. He had to become darkness and be divided from the presence so that we could be grafted in. Even leading up to the crucifixion, he said, "Father, is there any other way?" He wasn't saying this because he wanted to get out of what he had to do. He was saying it because he knew he would have to be detached from the presence of God. That was the worst thing for him. Not the beating, not the chaos, not the persecution, not the mimicry, not the spitting in the face, literally having skin shredded off of his body. That wasn't even nothing compared to being detached from the presence of God in his life. Come on, somebody.